This dual exhaust will be a perfect addition to your 5-liter powered 2015 to 2020 F-150 if you want some classic old school rumble and good looks, plus some flexibility to change up your truck's appearance. This will come in at a more solid 4 out of 5 on our loudness meter. Don't let the rating fool you though, this one is more than loud enough to satisfy, but it won't rattle your windows or get all your neighbors worked up into a frenzy every time you start it up on a cold morning. And that makes this a great way to give your daily driver a nice injection of attitude for a really good price. This is a full catback system, and at its core is this small chambered muffler. Now this is going to replace your stock muffler and resonator, and it opens up your exhaust in a big way. As you can hear, and as you can see, there is no packing inside of this one at all, so it is a true chambered unit. And as you heard from the clips at the start of the video, this helps the 5-liter sound a lot more like the big overhead cam V8 that it is. You get a deep, lumpy idle and a much more pronounced sound as the revs climb, and it lets out that signature Coyote V8 wail at the top of the rev range. Really suits the character of these trucks, and it makes it sound more like a modified Mustang than a half-ton pickup truck. Of course, more sound outside means that you will get more sound inside of the cabin as well, but it's not too over the top, so you can have this on a daily driver and it won't make it too much of a chore to drive. In fact, you'll likely enjoy being in your truck all that much more, not just due to the additional sound, but also the additional power and response. Now, we're not talking about huge increases in power here, and we're not dyno testing this one. However, opening up the exhaust and reducing restrictions in your exhaust system can allow the engine to breathe better, and it will help it respond better too, which is definitely something you'll feel in the seat of your pants, if nothing else. However, the coolest feature of this system has to do with the tips. In this system, you have the choice to have it exit straight out the back under the rear bumper or out either side just behind the rear wheel using these different sections of pipe. These will be for the side exit, these will be for the rear exit. Now, a true rear exit is great for that classic old school look, and the side exits are perfect if you tow a lot, as they keep the exhaust gases and fumes from dumping directly onto the trailer. Either way you choose to go, it's gonna look pretty darn good because the system is finished off with these large 4-inch dual wall /cut polish tips for a clean classic look. The system is made from mandrel-bent 409 grade stainless steel piping, so you get good resistance to rust and corrosion, and there are no weird creases or wrinkles in the piping that would impede exhaust gas flow. The piping is 3 inches into the muffler and then 2.5 inches the rest of the way back out to the tips. Those tips again are 4 inches in diameter, they are a dual wall design, and these are made from T304 stainless steel, which is polished to a really nice shine. Overall, this is a really nicely made kit. The welds look pretty good, the material quality is good too, and your muffler is completely welded and finished off with this high temp black paint, so it should look good and last you a long time. And everything we just talked about is made all that much sweeter by the price. Speaking of which, this system is going to run you about $600, and that places it decidedly on the more affordable side of the spectrum. The great sound and the solid materials combined with the unique ability to change up the way this looks is definitely worth the price of entry. It's going to give you most of the same types of features as one of the bigger name exhaust kits, but you're just not going to have to pay that big name price. Installation gets a 2 out of 3 on our difficulty meter, and the job should take you around 2 hours to complete. This is designed to be a bolt-on system, and it comes with all the hardware and clamps you need, though depending on your cab and bed configuration, a cut to the extension pipe may be necessary. However, it is only one cut, and details on which trucks need how much cut is included in the instructions. We're also going to talk a little bit more about that right now as we head out to the shop and walk you through the installation process step by step.
For this install, you will need various impacts, 13, 14, 15, and 17 millimeter sockets, 14 and 17 millimeter wrenches, a pry bar, some penetrating lubricant. Also not shown here is a pole jack or jack and jack stands. What's up guys, today we're going to be doing an exhaust on our F-150, but before we get started, we're going to send you to watch a quick video on how to remove your factory system, and we'll see you when you get back.
So, before we get our new exhaust installed, we have to get the old one out of the way. That is going to be pretty easy. All that's holding this exhaust onto our truck are going to be these two 13 millimeter bolts on this flange here. Now it is sitting in some exhaust hangers. We're going to give those a good dose of PB Blaster to loosen them up as well. Now these two bolts are in a decently tough spot. If you plan on using an impact gun, you might need a U-joint, but you should be fine with a ratchet. Now if the exhaust's never been off your truck before either, might be a good idea to hit these with a dose of PB Blaster as well. So at this point, our exhaust is loose on the truck. It's just sitting in those hangers. Now, since we're up on a lift, we're going to take this out all in one shot. I'm gonna remove it and then shimmy it over the axle and under that crossbar up by that flange. It should all come out in one piece. If you are working on the ground, you might have to make some cuts to this to get it out. I'm gonna use a pry bar to help persuade it through those hangers.
Alrighty guys, welcome back. Now that we have our factory system off, it's time to start installing our new setup. So we do have a pole jack here that's going to help us hold our mid-pipe in place while we install our two new bolts into our flange and get everything lined up on this side. Then on the other side, we're going to install our provided hanger clamp into our factory isolator to get this in position. Set this up, get it over a cross member, set it on our pole jack. Cross member and the pole jack will hold it in place, so now we can get our hardware and get that loosely installed. Now we'll get our bolts through. So we've got our bolt and our flat washer. Put that through the back side and into our first hole in our flange. And we're going to install our flat washer, our lock washer. And we'll get our nut loosely installed. And we do want our ball flare to kind of sit in the flange. We'll get this first one hand tight. Going to help hold it, and then we'll come over here and do the same thing. Pull through. We'll get our flat washer, lock washer, and our nut in. Now we're just going to get this hand tight for the time being because we want to allow for adjustments if needed. Straighten our pipe. Next, we're going to grab our provided hanger clamp. We'll get that over our mid-pipe, and then we'll get our hanger into our factory isolator. You can go whichever way you choose on this. We're just going to slide ours in, get it behind, line this up, get it through. Now, we aren't going to tighten this down just yet. We're going to leave that loose again for adjustment purposes. Next, we're going to install our muffler on the inlet side to our mid-pipe. So we've got our provided clamp. We'll slide that over. Our slip joint for our inlet. Sometimes you got to loosen these up a hair. Get that on. Get this in position. Make sure that's fully seated. And what we're going to do is move our pole jack underneath our muffler. Now what we're going to do is get our two provided clamps onto our outlets of our muffler. Slide those over. And you might have to loosen this just a hair. All the way on. We'll do the same thing for the other one. Now you do want your bolts to be opposing each other. You don't want your clamps to run into each other or anything like that when you're trying to get them in position. Next, we're going to install our passenger side overaxle section. So this one does have a hanger on it. We're going to line it up with our factory isolator here on our frame and get it into our slip joint of our outlet side of our muffler. Get that all the way in. Next, we'll get our driver side overaxle in. So the hanger on this one is going to go into our crossmember isolator and into our slip joint. Get this up and over. Line this up. As you can see, we'll need to bring our muffler down, so we're going to drop our pole jack a bit. Next, we're going to install our additional provided hanger for our driver's side outlet, since this is not a factory dual exhaust. So what we've got is our provided hanger bracket and bolt. We're going to send that through this bottom opening in our frame. Go through, and on the other side, we have a square washer, provided nut. Get that all squared up and hand tight. We'll come back and tighten this down. Next, we're going to tighten this down with our 17mm wrench and our 17mm socket on our impact. And we're going to install our provided isolator onto our hanger. Now we're going to install our crossover pipe for our driver's side outlet. We've got our provided clamp. We'll get that over our slip joint. And a lot of times you got to loosen these up. We're going to line this up with our isolator first, and we'll be able to bring it up. Line it up with our over axle, and get that slipped all the way in. Now once you've reached this point, you want to come back and start tightening everything down, because every adjustment we'll need to make from here is going to be at our tips and our outlet pipes. So we're going to make sure everything is good on this side. You want to make sure nothing's hitting or rubbing. Then we'll begin at our flange. So we've got our 14 mil socket and our 14 mil wrench. We'll tighten these down. You want to tighten these evenly. Next, we're going to tighten down our hanger clamp. So for that, we're going to use our 17 millimeter socket on our impact. Tighten this up. Now we'll tighten down our muffler inlet clamp. That's going to be with a 15 millimeter socket. Next, we're going to tighten down our muffler outlet clamps. Again, those will be with our 15 mil. Next, we can tighten down our crossover pipe clamp, once again with our 15 mil. All right, so this kit comes with options for either a side or rear exit setup. So we're gonna show you how to install both of these. We're gonna start with our side exit setup. So you wanna grab your side exit tubes and a provided clamp. And get that over your slip joint. Once again, you have to loosen them up. You get that on, put your outlet pipe on, make sure to get that fully seated. We're going to get these pointed pretty much where we want them to go before we install our tip. We're going to snug our clamp down, again with our 15 mil socket. Next we're going to install our tip, slide that on. Now you have some room, you can have it more sticking out or more flush with your vehicle. We're going to go with a happy medium. These are slightly slash cut, so we want that facing up. And once you're happy with your fitment, you can tighten down your clamp for your tip. Double check this clamp. Now once you're happy with your fitment and setup for this side, you can do the same thing for the other side. Alrighty guys, so now if we want to install our rear exit section, we're going to grab our S-bends. Again, we're going to slide that provided clamp over our slip joint. Make sure they go all the way on. Slide this on. You want to make sure these are facing the outer sides of your vehicle. So once again, just like with your side exits, you pretty much want to line this up how it's going to come out, and then we'll tighten down our clamp in with our 15 mil socket. Now once we have this in place, we're going to install our tip. Now we'll slide our tip into position. And you can bring this in or out flush with your bumper, whatever you choose to do. Slash cut is facing upwards, and we'll tighten our clamp down. And once you're happy with this side, you can do the same thing for the other side. Alrighty folks, that about wraps up our review and install of our dual exhaust system with polished tips and side or rear exit for your 15 to 25 liter F-150. Thanks for watching, and as always, for everything F-150, keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.